In the previous class, we examined what a noun is, types of noun, properties of noun, features of noun, functions of noun, and the rest. But today we are looking at pronoun. We can say that a pronoun is a word used to represent a noun, a group of words that function as a noun, and another pronoun. So from this short definition, we can say that a pronoun represents a noun. A pronoun represents a group of words that functions as a noun, and also another pronoun. Let's look at what we have here. We say a group of words may be a phrase or a clause. That group of words that a noun represents may be a phrase or a clause. For example, the tallest tree in the garden has been cut down. The tallest tree in the garden has been cut down. We can say that it has been cut down. It represents the tallest tree in the garden. And in that example, the tallest tree in the garden is a phrase, which is being represented by the pronoun it. I saw an old woman trying to cross the road, and I helped her. It's another example. I saw an old woman trying to cross the road, and I helped her. The her here is used to represent a noun phrase, an old woman. So therefore, if a pronoun represents a noun phrase, which is a group of words. I saw everything you did. I saw everything you did. If there is a question, what did you see? Everything you did. So everything you did here is a clause. Everything you did is a clause. And this clause is a group of words which is replaced by it in the sentence, I saw it. So it here represents everything you did. In another example, everything you said is not true. Everything you said is not true. Here we have, it is not true. It here represents the clause, everything you said. It represents the clause, everything you said. You can realize here that a clause that functions as a noun can be replaced with a pronoun, as demonstrated in the two examples here. Now, let's look at characteristics of a pronoun. What makes a pronoun pronoun? How do we recognize that this is a pronoun? Number one, a pronoun can be used to replace a noun, a group of words that perform the function of a noun, in a noun, in a sentence. Therefore, we see that looking at the fight put him into trouble. Looking at the fight put him into trouble. Looking at the fight is ing non-finite clause. And we can say that it represents that non-finite, ing non-finite clause. It puts him into trouble. So looking at the fights, put him into trouble. Looking at the fights is replaced with the pronoun it. Second, singing is my hobby. Singing is my hobby. This is gerund. It replaces singing. Next one, what you have done is a good job. This is a noun clause. What you have done is a good job. It is a good job. It here replaces what you have done. You can see that a pronoun can replace a noun clause. To think that you are better than everyone else is a deception. This is to infinitive. To think that you're better than everyone else is a deception. Here we can have it is a deception, whereby it as a pronoun replaces the to infinitive, to think that you are better than everyone else. Another point is that a pronoun has antecedents. a pronoun has antecedent. The antecedent is the word or group of words that the pronoun refers to. The word that the pronoun refers to, or group of the word, is the antecedent. For example here, Mary saw a little boy knocked down by a bicycle, and she went down to help him. Looking at this sentence, she is a pronoun. She in this sentence refers to the noun Mary. Therefore, it means that Mary is the antecedent of the pronoun she. And him is a pronoun. Him refers to the noun phrase a little boy, meaning that this him replaces or represents a little boy in the sentence. So a little boy is the antecedent of the pronoun him, while Mary is the antecedent of the pronoun she. Number 3, pronouns have gender reference. Pronouns have gender reference. For example, here we have a masculine gender represented by pronoun he, him, his. Feminine gender represented by pronoun she, her, hers. Common gender, you, they, them, we, us, and neutral gender. You should note that the masculine gender refers to male. And that's why we use the masculine pronoun he, him, his to replace, when we are talking about male or man, anything of male gender. Feminine gender refers to female, and we use she, her, us as the pronoun that represents female gender. Common gender refers to the gender that belongs to both male and female. Can either be male or female. For example, you can be male or female. They can be male or female. Them, we, us can be male or female. But neuter means that it is neither male nor female. So neutral gender it's not a male, cannot be a male, cannot be a female. That's why we use it. For example, stone, chair, and the rest. The number 4, grammatical case is applicable to pronoun. Grammatical case is applicable to pronoun. So just like now we have case in pronoun, objective case, subjective case, and possessive case. For subjective case, we use the subjective pronouns, he, she, they, we, you, it, who. While in the case of objective case, we use the objective pronoun, such as him, her, them, us, you, it, whom. While the possessive shows the ownership or possession of something, there we use the possessive pronoun is, has, theirs, hers, yours, its. So this shows that there is case reference in pronoun. Number 5, pronoun can indicate person. When we mean person, we are talking about the people involved in the speech. The people involved in the speech. It identifies the specific person. Therefore, we can indicate the first person pronoun. The first person pronoun points out the speaker. Whoever is speaking is the first person. So we use the first person pronoun to point out the speaker. For example, I, me, we, us. We use I if I'm the only one person is involved. But me, if the person speaking is referring to him or herself. We, when we have more than one person involved. But the second person pronoun points out the person who is being spoken to. The person you are speaking to is actually the second person. And the pronoun you is used to indicate that particular person. While the third person pronoun identifies the person who is being spoken about. That is the person you are speaking about. Is represented by the third person pronoun. For example, we have he, she, it, they, them, him, her. So these are the 3 persons in pronoun. We have the first person, second person, and the third person. And each of them is represented by different kinds of pronouns. Now, let's look at types of pronouns. There are different types of pronouns. Number one, we have personal pronouns. The personal pronouns are used to indicate person. They are used instead of names of persons. Examples are I, we, me, us, he, she, him, you, it, they, them. These are referred to as personal pronoun. But you should note that it does not express person. It's not used to express person. It is used for non-living things like animals, birds, fish, plants, statements, a young child when the sex is not mentioned. At times, it is called impersonal pronoun. It is called impersonal pronoun, but it's being grouped under personal pronoun. For example, when I saw the baby, it looked so beautiful. In that place, you realize that it is used to indicate or represent the baby because the sex of the baby is not mentioned. Another example, my dad keeps a parrot in the cage at home. It imitates whatever people say. It here replaces a parrot, which is a bird. The number two, we have relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used in the middle of a sentence to begin a relative clause. Relative pronouns are used in the middle of a sentence to begin a relative clause. You should note that relative pronoun introduces the relative clause. So at the beginning of a relative clause, what you should note there should be a relative pronoun. So a relative pronoun connects a relative clause to the word or group of words it modifies, meaning that a relative pronoun begins a relative clause and at the same time links that relative clause to the word or group of words that that relative clause modifies. And examples of relative pronouns are who, whom, whose, which, and that. For example, that is the man who won the contracts. That is the man who won the contract. Looking at this, you know that who is a relative pronoun which introduces the relative clause. Who won the contracts? Who introduced the relative clause? Who won the contract? And at the same time, connects the relative clause to man, which is the word that the relative clause modifies. It introduces it and connects it to the noun it modifies. The second example, the television which is in my room is very clear. Which is in my room is a relative clause introduced by relative pronoun which and connects relative pronoun which connects relative clause which is in my room to the noun television which it modifies. The friend whom you chose is a rogue. The friend whom you is a rogue. Whom you chose is a relative clause introduced by relative pronoun whom. And whom connects relative pronoun to noun friend, which it modifies. The third one is possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun shows the ownership of something by denoting possession. They are mine, hers, yours, is, ours, there, is. For example, the pen is mine. Mine is a possessive pronoun. The bag is ours. Likewise, ours is a possessive pronoun. Number four, we have interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns introduce questions. Interrogative pronouns introduce questions. They are used in making inquiries. They are used in making inquiries to ask several questions. And the examples are what, who, when, where, which, whom, how. For example, What do you want? What there is an interrogative pronoun which introduces the question. Whom should I give it to? Whom is an interrogative pronoun. Which is your choice? Which is another interrogative pronoun used to make an inquiry. Number 5, reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are formed by addition of self or selves to some personal pronouns. Once you want to form a reflexive pronoun, add self or selves to some personal pronouns. And using the reflexive pronoun indicates that the subject acts upon itself. It reflects upon itself. It does not act on another noun. When you use the reflexive pronoun, it means that the subject acts upon itself, not on another pronoun. Some of the examples are herself, himself, themselves, ourself, itself, myself, and yourself. For example, you need to help yourself, meaning that the person you need to help is not me, not another person, but yourself. You are acting upon yourself. The students prepare themselves for the exam. The student did not prepare another person, but rather they prepare themselves. So the subject acts upon itself when we have reflexive pronouns. Number 6 is reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns show that there is a relationship between actors in the sentence. It shows that there is a relationship between actors in the sentence, meaning that the one actor does something to another one, the other one does something back in return. One actor does say, yes, you do something for someone, the person does the same thing back to you. So they are each other, one another. Each other is used when two people are involved, and while we're one another when there are more than two. For example, the couple embraced each other. That is, the husband embraces the wife, while the wife embraces the husband. The girls advised each other. There are two girls involved. The first one advised the second one, while the second one advised the first one back in return. So there is exchange of action or information when we use reciprocal pronoun. But one another is used when we have more than two people involved in an action, and each of them relates with others on equal ground. For example, the travelers encouraged one another, meaning there are many travelers involved. As they engage in the voyage or the traveling, they keep A encourages B, B encourages A, C encourages A. All of them began to encourage one another. The priest advised the congregation to love one another. The intention of the priest is that all the congregations should love, congregation should love other congregations in the church. They should love one another. So number 7 is demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are used to point out a person or thing. A person or thing. And they are this, that, these, and those. This and that are used for singular nouns. This and that are used for singular noun to point out singular objects. Why these and those are used for plural noun. These and those are used for plural noun. For example, this is my house. This is my house. To point out a singular object, which is house. These are your friends. These are your friends. This is used to introduce many people. We also need to know that these and these are used to indicate closeness for object that is closer to the speaker, Why that and those are used to indicate distance, something that is a bit far away. For example, I love this watch, not that one, meaning that the watch being referred to is closer. That is the watch that is being loved, but the other ones are not. These tomatoes are fresh, while those in the other basket are rotten. The fresh tomatoes are closer to the speaker, while the rotten tomatoes are far away from the speakers. Number 8, we have indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns do not refer to a specific person or thing. They do not refer to a specific person or thing. So they do not relate with any specific noun. They cannot have any antecedents because they do not relate to any specific noun. Some of them are somebody, something, anything, anybody, many, both, few, two, another, and the rest. For example, everything is ready. We don't know what everything is. The question is, what is everything? Does not make reference to a particular thing at all. Many are called, few are chosen. Who are those many? Who are the few? There is no antecedent, does not make reference to anybody. Everybody is waiting. The question is, who is everybody? Realize that the expression was, and it does not make reference to a particular person. So concerning the indefinite pronoun, there we have some are singular, while some are plural, and some are used for both singular and plural purposes. For singular indefinite pronouns, we have another, anybody, anyone, everyone, something, everything, anything, someone, somebody. While for plural, we have both, few, little, many, several, some, two. But the indefinite pronoun that are referred to as both singular and plural at the same time that can be used in both contexts are all, some, any, none, more, most, much. So concerning the indefinite pronoun, we have singular indefinite pronoun, which are these: anybody, anyone, another, everyone, something, anything. Plural indefinite pronoun, which are both, few, little, too, many, and the rest. And those that can be used in either singular or plural sense, all, some, any, none, most, and the rest. So just give an example. This is not enough. We need another. Somebody is looking for you. All is ready. Now, the next one is intensive pronoun, which may be the last type. Intensive pronoun. Intensive pronouns are used for emphasis. Intensive pronouns are used for emphasis. So you to form the intensive pronoun, you need to add self, like reflexive pronoun. You need to add self to some personal pronoun. And you should note that they perform intensifier function. They act as intensifier. And intensive pronouns are himself, ourselves, themselves, itself, ourself. Intensive pronouns function as intensifier. They function as intensifier, unlike reflexive pronoun, which shows that someone acts upon him or herself. For example, the governor himself visited us. In this example, himself shows that it's actually the governor that visited us, not his representatives, not his deputy or his vice. The governor himself. Himself here is laying emphasis on the subject, the governor who did the visiting. The woman swept the floor herself. Herself showed that it is the woman that performed the action of sweeping the floor, not her children, not her friends. It emphasizes or intensifies the subject, woman who performed the action of sweeping. The people built the wall by themselves. Themselves here shows that those who are the people are the one that built the wall. No, they did not hire a contractor to do it or assign it to someone else. They perform the action of building by themselves. Now, let's look at functions of pronouns. Functions of pronouns. Pronoun can function as a subject of sentence, or you call it subject of the verb. Therefore, we have subjective pronouns performing the subject function in the sentence. We have I, we, he, she, it, they, you, who, and I. So all these pronouns are used as subjective case. I made a discovery. I is a subject, it's a subjective pronoun. She won the contest. She is a subjective pronoun and function as the subject. Also, we can have objects. We can have objects. Can function as objects. So we have objective pronouns that perform the function of object in the sentence. We have me, us, him, her, you, them, it, and home. So we may talk about direct objects and indirect objects. Direct objects receive the action of the verb. Direct object receives the action of the verb. For example, Ebuka kept some oranges in the basket, but Doris ate them. Looking at it, Ebuka performed the function of keeping something called oranges. Doris ate them. Doris performed the action of eating them. So the action of Dory is on the objective pronoun them. Indirect objects benefits the direct object. Tunde bought her a phone. What was bought was direct object, which is a phone. But who benefit the phone? The pronoun are indicates the beneficiary of the phone. Then it can function as object of a preposition. Object of a preposition. When we have a prepositional phrase, a pronoun can function as its objects. For example, for you. For is the preposition, the object here is you. From her, the object here is her. By him, by the object here is him. So we can say that pronoun can function as subjects, object, either direct or indirect object, and also function as object of a preposition. Let's look at usage constraints or usage error in the use of pronoun. Number one, some pronouns are used without antecedents in a wrong manner. For example, they want to meet you. Who are they? In that expression, we don't know whom they refers to. We don't know whom they refers to. She promised to assist us. We know it's a female, but who is that she? And to complete the expression, you must make another sentence that will point out to the antecedent of the pronoun to correct it. There may be disagreement between pronoun and antecedents. There may be a disagreement between pronoun and antecedent. The agreement may be in terms of number. If the antecedent is singular, the pronoun must be in singular form. But whereby we have the plural form of a pronoun with singular antecedent. For example, my aunt requested my financial assistance and I assisted them. Them is in plural form while the antecedent, my aunt, is singular, meaning that there is disagreement between the pronoun and its antecedent in terms of number. Also, we can look at it in terms of case. In terms of case, we have objective, subjective, and possessive case. For example, we say, it was him who supported me. There is a rule that when you have be verb, what should come should be a pronoun in subjective case. It should have been, it was he who supported me. Because the way it is now, who here replaces the pronoun here? Are we going to say it was him? Him supported me? No. But the right should be it was he, meaning that who replace he? Then it should not be subjective pronoun, he supported me. Noima gave Joy and I some money. I cannot be here because I is a subjective pronoun. Noimot is the subject. Gave is the verb. Joy and me should be the object. Gave joy and me. So in this place, we realize that subjective pronoun is used in place of the objective pronoun. 3, there is misuse of form is, which is possessive form it's. You realize that it's, it apostrophe s means it is, or it has, or it was. Replacing or representing 2 words. But possessive pronoun is its without any form of apostrophe. In some cases, some people use them interchangeably and create confusion in the writing. For example, I fed the beach and its puppies. I fed the beach and its puppies. This here is not the right one. This is possessive. This means it is or it has. It's not the possessive pronoun. It should have been its without apostrophe. And the last constraint, misuse of reflexive pronoun in place of reciprocal pronoun. People often misplaces reflexive pronoun for reciprocal pronoun. Reflexive pronoun means the subject acts upon him or herself, does not transfer action on another noun. While reciprocal means that there is exchange of action between the 2 participants in the sentence. For example, the 2 friends helped themselves in time of trouble. The 2 friends helped themselves in time of trouble. Themselves mean that first friend helped himself, while the second friend helps him or herself. They do not do anything for each other. So these are the constraints in the use of pronoun. So this is where we end the class. Thank you very much. Thank you for being there.